Introduction: the dragons we pretend don't exist. Let me ask you something. How many times in your life have you said, "It's nothing, it's not a big deal. I'll deal with it later," only to watch that small thing grow into something massive? It could have been a conversation you didn't want to have. A health warning you ignored. A mistake at work you swept under the rug. A personal habit you promised yourself you'd fix tomorrow. We all know this feeling. And every time we ignore it, the same thing happens. The problem doesn't disappear, it grows. There's a children's story that captures this perfectly. At first glance, it looks like a light-hearted little tale, but in reality, it's a powerful metaphor for life, responsibility, and growth. The book is called There's No Such Thing as a Dragon by Jack Kent. And inside this simple story lies a lesson that can change how you face challenges in your life. The story, A Dragon in the Room. The story begins with a young boy named Billy Bixby. One morning, Billy wakes up and finds a dragon in his room. But this isn't the kind of dragon you'd expect from fairy tales. It's small, about the size of a cat. It's harmless, even kind of cute. Billy runs to his mom and says, "Mom, there's a dragon in my room." But his mother replies with confidence, "There's no such thing as a dragon." Now here's where it gets interesting. Billy knows what he saw. He knows the dragon is there. But his mom is the authority, so he accepts her word. And from that moment, he pretends the dragon doesn't exist. But the dragon does exist. And because it's being ignored, it begins to grow. At breakfast, the dragon is as big as a dog, putting its head on the table. At lunchtime, it's larger than a horse. By the afternoon, it's so huge that it fills the house, dragging it across town. Chaos follows, all because nobody will admit the obvious: there is a dragon. Finally, when Billy and his mom acknowledge the dragon's existence, it begins to shrink. It goes back to being small, manageable, and harmless. And the story ends with this reminder: problems don't go away by pretending they're not there. They shrink only when they're faced. The metaphor, what the dragon really means. The dragon in the story isn't a creature. It's a metaphor. It represents problems, fears, conflicts, mistakes, bad habits, and uncomfortable truths. We all have dragons in our lives. But many of us act like Billy's mother. We tell ourselves, "There's no such thing as a dragon." We ignore the growing tension in a relationship. We dismiss the warning signs in our health. We overlook the small errors at work. We excuse the habits that eat away at our discipline. But just like in the story, the more we deny these things, the bigger they get. Lesson 1: Denial doesn't protect you. Why do we deny problems? Because denial feels safe. It gives the illusion that we don't have to deal with something difficult. But denial doesn't protect you, it traps you. Think about relationships. A couple notices small cracks, poor communication, little arguments, moments of cold silence. Instead of addressing it, they pretend it's fine. Months later, those small cracks become chasms. Resentment builds. Trust erodes. And now the relationship feels impossible to repair. What happened? The dragon was ignored. Or think about your health. You feel a sharp pain, an unusual fatigue, or a recurring symptom. It's small. Easy to brush off. You say, "It's nothing." But months later, that nothing has turned into something much harder to fix. This is the law of dragons: what you deny, grows. What you face, shrinks. Lesson 2: Problems grow in the dark. Dragons thrive in darkness. The longer you avoid looking at a problem, the stronger it becomes. Financial debt grows with interest. Bad habits grow with repetition. Anger grows when it's suppressed. Fear grows when it's unchallenged. It's not that problems are unbeatable. It's that we feed them by pretending they don't exist. Here's the truth, a problem exposed to light loses power. The moment you admit it, talk about it, and take a step toward solving it, it shrinks. Real-life example, the workplace dragon. I once heard about a manager who discovered a small accounting error in his company. It wasn't huge, just a minor mistake. He thought, it's fine, I won't bring it up, it'll fix itself. But it didn't fix itself. That small error multiplied. Over months, it became a major financial issue that cost the company thousands. All because one man decided, there's no such thing as a dragon. Now think about your own work, your own goals. How many small issues have you brushed aside, telling yourself they don't matter? The missed deadline, the procrastination, the ignored feedback. Each one looks small, but together, they build into something massive. Lesson 3, Honesty shrinks the dragon. So what's the solution? Honesty. The courage to admit. Yes, there is a dragon. Yes, I made a mistake. Yes, I need help. Yes, I've been avoiding this. Honesty doesn't make you weak, it makes you strong. Because it's the only way to take back control. When you admit the problem, you take the first step to solving it. Just like Billy and his mom, the dragon didn't shrink because they fought it. It shrank because they acknowledged it. Lesson 4, it's easier to fight small dragons. Here's something important, it's easier to fight small dragons than big ones. A small problem is manageable. A small habit is easier to break. A small conversation is easier to have. The longer you wait, the bigger the dragon gets. And then it takes more energy, more pain, and more sacrifice to fix what could have been simple. This is why successful people don't delay hard things. They face the dragon early. They don't let it grow into something unmanageable. Application, facing dragons in different areas of life. Let's bring this closer to home. What dragons might be hiding in your life right now? 1. Relationships. Maybe you've been ignoring tension with your spouse, your children, or your friends. You keep telling yourself, it's fine. But it's not fine. The dragon is growing. Have the conversation. Admit the truth. Face it now, while it's still small. 2. Work and career. Maybe you've been procrastinating on a project, avoiding feedback, or brushing off mistakes. The dragon is waiting. Deal with it now, before it costs you opportunities, respect, or growth. 3. Health. Maybe your body has been sending signals. Fatigue, stress, pain. Don't ignore it. Don't say, there's no such thing as a dragon. Because health dragons grow fast. Face them early. 4. Self-discipline. Maybe you've been letting small habits slide. You tell yourself, it's just one day. It's just one excuse. But remember, small dragons grow into big ones. Discipline is built or destroyed by little choices. Lesson 5, Courage is facing the dragon. Courage is not about slaying dragons in battle, it's about admitting they exist. It's about looking your problems in the eye and saying, you don't control me. I see you. And I will deal with you. You don't need to solve everything overnight. You just need to stop pretending. You need to bring your dragons into the light. Final thought, what's your dragon? So let me ask you, what dragon in your life have you been ignoring? Is it fear? A habit? A responsibility? A relationship? A dream? Whatever it is, know this, the longer you deny it, the bigger it gets. But the moment you admit it, the moment you shine a light on it, it begins to shrink. Don't let your dragons run your life. Don't let them drag your house down the street like Billy's did. Instead, face them. Speak their name. Confront them. Because the truth is this, problems shrink when faced, and grow when ignored. And maybe, just maybe, that dragon you've been avoiding isn't here to destroy you. Maybe it's here to teach you courage, honesty, and responsibility. So today, take a step. Face the dragon. And watch how small it really is. Clear principles, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Stories and analogies, parables, real-life examples, nature metaphors. Practical advice, small, daily actions anyone can take. Repetition for impact, he'd restate key lessons in different ways. Discipline, facing small dragons daily before they grow. Responsibility, admitting the dragon exists is the highest form of maturity. Honesty, telling yourself the truth shrinks the dragon. Growth, every dragon faced makes you stronger for the next one. Success is built daily, you don't conquer life in one big battle, but in the small consistent choices.